Hello and welcome to another episode of Virtual City Hall School. I'm really proud to be an Edmonton public teacher, and I was especially excited when the city asked me to come be an Edmonton public teacher at City Hall School. So before I introduce our guest, who's from Edmonton Public Schools, I want to give you some numbers. Do you know that there are over 104,000 students in Edmonton Public Schools, 213 schools, and there are 9 trustees? So a trustee's job is very similar to a counselor's job. They were elected, and their job is to listen and to learn and decide and care about their quality of education. I'm really excited that we have the chair of Edmonton Public Schools with us today, Trustee Trisha Estabrooks.
Hi, Leon. Hi, Miss Hutt. It's a great honor to be on your show.
Thank you for joining us. I'll turn it over to our student reporter, Leon.
Hello, everyone. So I have a couple of questions here for you. And my first one is, EPS's vision is success one student at a time. How do trustees work to make this happen?
Well, the first thing I would say is that when I think of the word success, I think it means different things for different people. I think it means different things for different students, depending what your passion is, what your skills are, what you're interested in. So when I think of that vision, success one student at a time, I think about how the Board of Trustees works to support the success of all students at Edmonton Public Schools. And so the ways that we do that is we develop, for example, policies that support all students. We pass a budget every year, coming up very soon, actually, which again, looking at that budget and thinking, how does this budget support all students? The other thing that we do to support the idea of success for all students is that we work really hard, as Ms. Hutt was talking about, to reach out to students, to your parents, to families, to figure out how's the best way that we can represent you so that you can be successful when you come to one of our 213 schools.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Okay, so my second question to you is, why is teamwork important in your work?
Well, teamwork, first of all, like I'm one of 9 trustees, and I represent one part of the city. And there's 8 other voices that work hard to also hear the perspectives from different parts of our city. And so in order for us to truly represent our city, we need to come together as a team. We need to be able to listen to each other and collaborate. And I'm a big believer in that one person doesn't have the idea. 9 people together come together, talk about ideas, and that's when ideas really, I think, flourish and come to life. So that idea of teamwork is essential in the work that we do as school board trustees.
Yeah, teamwork is definitely very important, even at my level in grade 6.
Absolutely.
Okay, my third question is, I'm in grade 6. In 6 more years, I'll graduate. What are 3 words you would use to describe the type of graduate I could be?
Oh, I'd love to hear your answer to this question, but I guess when I think about the world that you and I will be living in 6 years' time, and sort of the skills that a graduate like yourself may need in 6 years' time, I think creativity. I think also being curious. I think curiosity is a great skill to have, both now and in the future. And I also think you're going to have to be really flexible. You think about the current situation that we're in with the pandemic and all the creative ways and the flexibility that we now have to sort of shift between this way of thinking and a new way of thinking. So I think the idea of being flexible in your thinking and being adaptable, I think those are all really important skills that I can see in graduates in 6 years' time.
Yeah, I'm definitely already curious, so if I just keep that with me, I'll be fine. Okay, my next question is, what is the most rewarding part of your work?
Oh, I really like talking to people. So hearing from students, hearing from families, hearing from parents, both with some of the concerns that they have or some of the challenges that they're experiencing, and also hearing about successes. Basically, the idea that representing people is a really great part of the job that I have right now, which I really, really like, and I find it really rewarding. Just that idea that you connect to people and you listen to people. And then there are these instances where you connect to people, you listen to people, and again, using that teamwork, you're able to help them. And so there's something really rewarding about representing people, feeling like their voice has been heard, and then getting them the help that they need has been a really rewarding part of the job. And I also really like going into some of the schools at Edmonton Public. Like, it's amazing to see what happens in our classrooms with our staff and our students. And that's always been a really rewarding part of the job.
Well, you mentioned challenges. My next question is, what is a challenge?
Oh, a good job wouldn't be a job without its good challenges, right, Leon?
Yeah.
And that's where you learn, I think. That's how you learn, is through our challenges. I think one of the biggest challenges that I face as a trustee is, you know, we're living in such a growing city right now. And there's parts of our city, in particular, I think of some of the neighborhoods in the southern part of our city, where they're just growing so rapidly and our schools are filling up so quickly. And so the challenge for me is balancing what's happening in the southern part of our city with that growing population, but then looking at other parts of the city, for example, where I live, in what's called a mature neighborhood. An older neighborhood where perhaps enrollments in our school isn't growing as quickly. And so balancing the interests of those sort of two groups is often very challenging, and making sure that the voices of all people in our city are heard when we're making those decisions. And I'd also say that it's challenging too, because we have to work within the confines of the budget that the provincial government gives us. And we're a growing school district. And right now we have a budget that is not growing with us. And that's a pretty political thing to say, but this job is political, and that's the reality of the budget that we're in right now.
Yeah, my parents are both professors, so I hear a lot about the budget. So, my sixth question is, during this time of isolation, what is something that brings you joy?
Oh, I love hearing about the really cool and interesting ways that people are adapting right now. I think it's amazing as humans how resilient we are. And so I love seeing that and learning about that, especially in our own city. Like that, did you see that picture of the group of families that came together and did the Monopoly board? Like that was amazing. So I love seeing those sort of quirky, innovative ideas that are happening in our city, the way people are coming together to inspire each other. Personally, right now, my own kids bring me a lot of joy. I have a daughter in grade 6 and my son's in grade 2, and they are so upbeat about what's happening that on days when I'm not maybe feeling as upbeat, they really do inspire me. Yeah, that's what's bringing me joy right now.
Well, yeah, that sounds really nice. I also am like, I get a lot of joy out of people around me too. So yeah. I guess that's something we have in common. And my seventh and final question is, even though a lot of new challenges have been coming up during times like these, do you see any positive developments coming out of this crisis?
I do. I see lots of, I like to call them silver linings. You know, I see people coming out of this with more kindness and patience, I think. I also think, and I've heard it said that, you know, live the way now that you want to live when this is all over. So I think this is a chance to kind of reset, you know, like what do we want things to look like in our city, in our schools, in our lives, in our families when this is all over? So I know it's really challenging for a lot of people right now, but I do think there are some silver linings that are yet to come and yet to be seen.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually possible for people to actually grow from this experience. So, yeah.
I totally agree with you. And isn't that a beautiful thing, that we will grow as humans through this?
Yeah.
I love that. Well said.
Okay.
Well, thank you both for that interview. That was great. I know that we are all missing being at school, the physical being in the school. Your schools are so much of our community, of our heart and hub of our communities. And I know how hard your teachers are working to stay connected to you and to your learning. So today's challenge is to do some reflecting on the remote learning you've been doing. What's been working really well for you? What's the challenge? Maybe you can journal about that today, the things that are working well and what's a challenge. And while you're doing some writing, can you think of a way to send some appreciation to your teacher for all the hard work he or she is doing? Thank you for watching. Goodbye, Trustee Estabrooks.
Bye, Leon. Bye, Miss Hyde.
Bye-bye.